Let me tell you about my friends over at Citrus America and their amazing juicing equipment. They're revolutionizing the way you enjoy freshly squeezed juice. They're at the best hotels, restaurants, and markets. Their mission is simple. Develop a unique consumer experience with on-premise juicing, deliver healthy taste options to clientele, and juice more faster. It's that easy. Citrus America supplies the highest quality juicing equipment and solutions in the industry. So whether you're a small business owner or a large corporation, Citrus America has the right juicing equipment for you. Find out more at citrusamerica.com. Hello, food fam. This is the Walk and Talk Podcast, and I am your beloved host, Carl Fiadini. Yes, beloved, I said it. We're podcasting on site at the Ibis Images Studios, where food photography comes alive. On the menu today, and thank you, Peninsula Food Service, for supplying the proteins for today's Productione. This is our first podcast back from Dallas at the World Food Championship. My man, I am excited, mainly because it's like nice, quiet, ambient noise here. Like there's no, it's quiet, it's nice, it's good. What a great experience, though. We're going to get into that. We have a special guest today. It is a dear friend of the show. We have the Amy Yee of Yee Family Farms in the house. Man, I'm tired of talking about bread. But she brought bread again. Oh, my goodness. Schlissel. Jeffrey.
Yes,
Jeffrey,
sir.
the Chef Jeffrey, the Jefferson Schlissel Maestro. I got to call you Maestro, man, because, like, you get down, dude.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I finally got my voice back from this.
I know. I'm kind of upset about that. It was nice when you were just
Right?
quiet. All right, jump into pre-shift and explain the sexy, bad-ass sandwiches that were created today.
I love how you just jump over the main course and go right into the
You know
sandwich.
what? I
You're
don't care
such a
about-
Sammy whore.
I don't care about the entrees anymore. I give it up. I go to fancy places to eat. I'm like, can you just give me the sandwich list?
Yeah. So today was Battle of the Shanks. And it's getting to that season, especially around this time. You know, back in the day, this is what the butcher used to take home because it was an awful cut. People didn't want that. They wanted the filet mignon, the beef tenderloin, the sirloins. They didn't really want hind shanks. I love them. And it's such a comfort food, too. And especially when it's getting cooler. We just hit 47 degrees. I know for everybody else around the country, it's
like swimming.
Yeah,
it's like swimming weather. Yeah.
Especially you guys in like the wicked Northeast. But you're out in like shorts. But for us down here, it's the climate change for us. It's just something to go in that mode of braising. And I wanted to braise. We did it the Italian style for the veal ossobuco. And then I went completely Asian on the pork, hind shank, which was basically miso, black garlic. We had sake, and then I rubbed the actual pork shank with kimchi powder, and then used some gochujang or gochujang inside the actual to give it a little more depth.
What'd you call me?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And those are pepper sauces that we would make kimchi with, and we start doing that. And the barbecues, the gochujang. But I also wanted to serve it differently too. So one, we showcased the zucchini cake to give it some different depth, and then that zucchini cake, as we'll hear in a second from Amy, she was like, "What's in there?" It's like sweet. There's cinnamon. And I'm like, "It's garam masala." So there's like 14 different spices, and that's one of the bases to get. Garam masala goes turmeric, and that can be like a curry in Indian cooking. There's so many other different things you can add to this, but it's one of those mother spices in an Indian cuisine. And so hopefully I got that right, Keith. I'll get an email from you. I know I will.
There's no such person.
But actually, Amy Yee actually has a book from Keith Saracen. She has the fermentation book. Yeah.
I do.
Yep.
No kidding.
Yep.
Was that in the
This is the latest one that just came
fiction?
out. No, that was in cooking.
Okay.
The Art of Fermentation, if I'm not mistaken, was the name of the book.
Hey, listen, if there is such a Keith, One day he will grace our microphones.
He'll be out in Austin when we were out there doing the podcast for Cater Source. He's got 2 presentations like I did, so he's there for the entire week.
Nice.
So he will be on the podcast.
In the flesh.
Okay. And also his sous chef, BJ, is going to be doing a presentation, so we can get him on the podcast as well.
Okay. Bring it on.
Yeah. But the sandwiches you were talking about, that's when things got a little bit crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Talk about that Cubanelle.
The soprano sandwich. Yeah. So I took the veal, ossobuco, took it off the bone, shredded it a little bit, built it from there. Amy brought this beautiful Chinese broccoli from the farm that they have. We blanched picked for us
specifically.
Yeah, for you,
for me.
Yeah,
and my belly.
Yeah.
No, but it's listen. That was awesome. By the way,
I'll stop
because no, I don't want to cut short
the sexy talk
with the food. Right? I don't want to stop that, but I do because we've mentioned Amy 6 times already, and I feel weird. So, Amy, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
No, pleasure is ours. And you brought all sorts of goodies. You brought sweet water, organic coffee, like a bunch of bags, and that was like roasted fresh for us too. And that is
my mother. She manages the company in Gainesville, Florida.
So Mama Amy, hooked us up. Thank you, Mom. We appreciate it.
Definitely. Yeah. She knows exactly what we love.
Yeah. True story, man. It's all
coffee and food.
Yeah. And it's, but it's all like dark espresso. That's where we're at. And notice people, just FYI, it's not espresso. It's espresso.
There's no X.
There's no X.
Well,
anyway, we're going to come back to Amy.
Yeah.
So
okay, go.
I had ripped it apart, shredded it, and then I had burrata, which is just a phenomenal cheese to go along with it. And then I did a quick pickle on Cubanelles. Basically, this is like the roasted pork sandwich in Pennsylvania that you see with the broccoli rabe and roasted pork. I just converted it and just tweaked it a little bit. Did the Cubanelles, just wanted to bring a different layer to the whole thing. And then that one had smoked garlic in there as well.
Yeah, all the layers hit. But that Cubanelle with the man, that just popped. Everything popped.
Yeah, but you didn't have the other one to compare it to.
What do you mean I didn't have the other one?
You had the other one with the pork?
Yeah.
Within the peach jam and the jalapeno?
Yeah, you watched me eat it.
I haven't had that one yet.
See?
Yeah, well, sorry.
I thought the peach vodka jam, when it hit with the kimchi and the jalapeno, I thought that brought it to like another level.
No. Both sandwiches were, I think they were equally.
Silent John can't say anything right now because he hasn't had it.
Yeah, too bad. They're equally craveable. And you could pick whatever spelling you want, but they're equally craveable. I totally enjoyed both sandwiches, but I have to tell you that somehow or another, the Cubanelle really did it for me. That one hit my chord.
Of course it would.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the great arrabbiata sauce. That Cubanelle is wonderful in all times.
Yeah, man. So when the pictures come out on this, by the way, look, everyone, stop emailing me or sending me messages about, how do they get this food? I'm sorry. It's special invite only.
Or invite yourself.
Yeah.
Or just if you're Amy, you just show up. You know
Every
what I mean?
time.
But I will tell you, Amy, she shows up with she came here loaded. There's
baked chow bao with Nutella in it.
A 50-pound case of
Napa cabbage.
And
there's a 40-pound case of Shanghai cabbage at my house.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, when Amy shows up, she
shows up.
Yeah.
She comes correct, man. It's good. Yeah, 100%.
And then there was 2 sourdough breads I saw, English muffins that she made. Yeah.
The Nutella
Chow bao. Mm-hmm. Bao, or I should say baked.
Yeah.
It would be chow bao, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, chow bao. They were phenomenal.
Shabao.
No, not that. No, that's from,
no, something else. All right.
No doo-wop.
No doo-wop, right? Okay, so go ahead and get into the entree.
Yeah, we had 2. One was an ossobuco, big deal, and the other one was another big deal. I kind of went over those already with like the zucchini cake on the bottom. What was different in the zucchini cake was the gram masala that I mentioned. But I also topped it off with some fried garlic, and then we did the kimchi on that. So I met Amy when she first got here yesterday very late because I was doing stuff. It was like 7 o'clock. She had been out with Vicky Webster from Happy Tales. They met up. Vicky wanted to get some Napa cabbage and some dry starter from Amy.
I know a gal.
Yeah, so that's what it was. It was like right there at Wawa, doing the whole drop-off pickup. And I quickly went home and started the process of getting it fermented, which I knew I wasn't going to get anything fermented in less than 24 hours. But I sped the process up by utilizing, and I found this at Sprouts, peach cider vinegar. And I went, I've got to test this out. So I was like, perfect. Peaches and Porco with like peaches and herb. It was a music group. Anyways, so the peach I thought was going to be the best thing to go along with it instead of apple cider vinegar, which is everyone's go-to. I thought it worked out well for it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna back that up. I'm gonna back you up on this, man. Like, you should really do this professionally.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I'll get it down one day.
You're gonna look into it. Yeah? All right, so a couple of things here. Number one, we have 2 dinners coming up. Okay?
Yeah,
we have 2.
Yeah,
One's a pregame dinner, so to speak.
Someone's an overachiever
for the main. Yeah, you're crazy. I mean, the overachiever is you.
Yeah,
and John hates you for it. just want you to know that. All right, so why don't we talk about that a little bit? We have.
We've got Marvin. That's what we need to talk about. Marvin and Cahaba Club. And he's graciously opened his arms and is just really gung-ho about having us out the farm and having the event at the farm.
And what event is that?
This is called the Farmer's Craveable Dinner. Mm-hmm. This is, by the way, John, there's your news flash. That's what it's called.
Did we get the graphic done yet?
No. Anyhow, there's that finger again. Yep. You're number one. So what we're doing is we're having the first one is we're going to have some influencers, some press to come out to the farm. We're doing a 6-course menu of the 9-course menu. Things are changing. Obviously, we're not going to be doing this in December. So what the list was that the farmers had is going to obviously change for January. So we're going to have to change some of those items. So what's really good about this as a chef is I'm getting reconnected with the farmers. We're going to bring other chefs that can reconnect with farmers, and that's going to enter another avenue for the farmer to connect another revenue stream. But the biggest one for us is getting the guests, the people that don't know about farms, to come out, see what Cahaba Club does, see what Happy Tales does, see what E-Family Farms do, so that way they can experience what Florida has to offer as agriculture and what do we produce here as far as produce for the entire country at certain times of the year. And that's the main goal here is to, show that spotlight, not only on the culinary talent of the local talent here in town in Tampa.
Walk and talk.
And the walk and talk. Yeah, right. The walk and talk talent. Mm-hmm. But it's also to elevate the farmers and the knowledge that they're out there and they're busting their humps, but they do some great work. And you can tell when you taste the product.
I mean, listen, when you take the quality of chefs that we're working with anyway, and then we're gonna, kind of combine your local farms, who all these cats work incredibly hard. We'll get into that in a second. That's kind of like the overriding topic today is, farms, hard work, washing dishes too, right, Amy?
That's right.
Okay. Hip check.
But yeah, I mean, we'll get into that. But like you take the farmer, you take the very quality chef, you put them together, and we make like magic in a plate.
100%. And what's great about it is I think one of the things that we've lost since COVID coming out of it, and where everybody's trying to pick the direction where the restaurant industry is going to go, is one, we miss the service aspect of it, going back to the standards. I think the other thing we really missed, and this is a great thing that you experienced, and you talk about it with me when we're in Dallas, is the experience, the memories that you build when you're at a table. Yeah, I didn't even say it. I know exactly where he's going to go. Go.
Yeah. So listen, there's memories because here's why, right? So we go to this really awesome World Food Championship. We were really blessed to be asked to come out. We podcast live, not live, but we podcast basically live throughout the whole event. And I was fortunate to be a master judge. I got to judge a bunch of competition. Okay. At nighttime, I mean, and we're working 12 hours a day. Like we're getting there at 8 in the morning. We're leaving at 8 at night. It's pretty intense. And I kind of wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you. I haven't put that kind of like heavy lifting work in a long time. Anyway, so So we got invited to you can call it an after party at Scott Green's place. Scott Green is the owner of Dats, D-A-T-S, Dats, and they do like a Tabasco sort of sauce, Louisiana style.
Best way I can say it is the comparison is take sweet chili from Thailand, throw it to somebody in the Creole land of New Orleans or Louisiana, like Scott, and that's what you get. I mean, it was that sauce
and the ketchup, which is like a hybrid of the sauce and ketchup. Oh my god! So anyway,
and those soft shelled crawfish.
We don't know
a soul,
not a soul in this place. There was maybe 15 people, right? And we walk in, and it was Jeff, Pooch, Jacob, and myself,
and no deer.
And without anyway, we walk in and don't know a soul. There's a chick playing a guitar. There's just people eating and having a good time. And we were like, oh my God,
Bridget London.
Like, what are we doing here? We don't know anybody. What we did do, because we didn't want to go empty handed. And it was like a side quest odyssey to try to to bring booze. We didn't want to go there empty handed. So long story short.
Thanks, Jacob.
Yeah, no booze. And we did come in with the Citrus America juicing machine. Okay, we brought that with us, and we brought
lemons, limes, and 4 racks of ribs, zucchini, squash, asparagus.
We brought food, and Jeff, not me, of course, but Jeff, just jumped right in and started cooking. Those were lamb chops, right?
Yeah, lamb rack.
Oh my God. Okay, so as Jeff's cooking, I see Jacob setting up the machine, and I see Pooch out there kind of like, butterflying around, being, just being cool with everybody. And I'm just observing, right?
We chewies, cheese-wees.
So, right, because that's what
we were coating it, yeah. And then they had those soft-shelled crawfish.
Okay, I never had that in my life, and it was so good. Hear me out, though. There's a story here. I'm watching everyone. And I'm just observing, because I'm kind of uncomfortable, truthfully. I don't know anybody, and I'm like, wow, I have to find something to do here. I can't just stand watching this guy work. Okay.
Hello. That was me today.
Yeah.
I'm like, put me in.
Yeah, but
true story.
But you know who we are. That's a difference.
Yeah.
So Bridget London, she sits down, and I don't know where I didn't see where there was an acoustic guitar. Like, I don't know where she pulled that from. I don't know where it came from. I don't know where. Excuse me. I probably just made a mess. I don't know where. She starts playing songs that she wrote, and she's singing. And there's 15 people in a room. It's very intimate. He's cooking, and the smell, and she's singing, and all of a sudden
the fire alarm goes off.
And would you stop ruining my story? So what ends up happening is everybody's into the songs, and she's like really from the heart, like really great, very talented woman.
Stevie Nicks is what I had, the Fleetwood Mac kind of vibe.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And this is like happening, and everybody's chilling and just watching her sing. He's cooking, and people are just eating. And it was such an amazing experience. Granted, yeah, you set the smoke detector off a couple of times, but it wasn't your fault.
Yeah, who puts a smoke detector right over the stove?
Over the stove.
Literally over the stove.
Like right on top. It was there, right.
Well, no, the mic thing was, I was just remember talking to somebody. I'm like, I don't know how long you've been in the restaurant industry. He's like, oh, I've been in it for a while. 15 years.
Yeah.
Or more.
Right.
And then it turns out he's the vice president of research and development for a small company based out of Tampa.
Bloomin' Brands.
Yeah.
Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah. So
there were some highfalutin, high-powered folks at this place.
Scott was like, I looked at him. He had all these like trays of soft shell crawfish sitting there, and he's like, I'm like, hey, do you want me to cook this? He's like, sure. You want to do that? I'll just sit over here and drink my beer. I'm like, go for it, bro. I got you.
Totally didn't sound like that at all. But
he was Cajun.
But I get what you're saying. Anyway, these are such a great group of people, and we got to share like this moment in the history of our lives where there was real emotion going around the room. Like this, with the woman singing, Bridget singing, the food coming out, and let me tell you something. And I hate to sound cheesy like this, but the Dats sauce is now ingrained and in part of that memory. Those soft shell. Holy crap! I've never had. I could have I wish I was alone with all of it because I would
not in that way, John. Not in that way. No.
Thanks.
It was a moment of. I mean, I've never had it. I used to live in Louisiana. I never saw a soft shell crawfish. Never.
No, nothing like that.
As soon as somebody brought it over, and I'm like, I just stood there the night before. That's where we got introduced to him. So that Wednesday night when we went over the house, I was like, it was literally one for them, one for me, one for them, one for me. And we actually did it 2 ways. We did it floured, and then we did it with the cheese whiz that I made that whole concoction of crusted the thing in it. Yeah.
And then, but that's not even it. But then the lamb starts coming out. Attention chefs and food buyers. Are you looking to improve your proteins program with quality and service by the best in the beef business? Reach out to Peninsula Food Service. With 25 butchers on staff, their services will dazzle you and impress your dining guests. Peninsula is the largest Creekstone farm distributor in the southeast United States. Let the gang at Peninsula Food Service cut your beef burdens away and ask about their dry-aged program. Look them up at peninsulafood.com.
I had no idea how many people were videoing the whole thing of me cutting that.
Yeah, it was so good. What was that sausage that we had? What was that called? Do you remember? I never had that before either. No,
it wasn't Kaneka. What house were we in?
At Scott's place. It was like that Louisiana style sausage. I forget what they call it. I'm not.
Andouille.
What is it?
Andouille.
That's what you couldn't remember? Andouille?
I never heard of that in my life.
Oh.
Never had it. Never heard of it. Anyway.
Oh, no. It was no. Give me a minute. It's the rice and the boudin.
Boudin.
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
The one. Right,
it
there
was
you
boudin.
go. Good. Nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was the best boudin. Yeah, it was some kind of gas station boudin. That if you go into Louisiana and you go to a gas station, that's what you're going to eat. And let me tell you something. Lord have mercy. That was some damn good boudin.
Lord, absolutely have mercy, because it was, anyway, what a great night. And it's a memory that I am never going to forget, because it was one of these things where you just shared moments with people that you had probably most of them never see again. But it was wrapped in food and music. And it was just so cool.
You know, both Scott and Bridget have asked me, when are you going to come out to the bayou? And I'm like, when I get invited, they're like, you're invited.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I have not spoken with Bridget, but I have with Scott. We're trying to put something.
Yeah. By the way, Scott, you're not in Winn-Dixie by Parsons and MLK. I've been there. Been looking for.
You need to figure the logistics out, Scott.
Yeah. Anyhow, but I will tell you that's what we're going to bring to the Farmers Craveable Dinners, is that experience, that memory that we're going to build for people over a period of time. But we're also going to help those farmers out too.
Yes. Yeah. I have. By the way, they did the World Food Championship. They invited us back for next year.
No, I thought we were going to go to Arkansas and do that for the final table.
I don't know. We didn't talk about that, but I'm happy with next year. That's fine.
Yeah, this time hopefully John can be there.
I don't know. I mean,
you don't have to say anything, John. Yeah.
tip our 40 over for him.
No, we just need to build something for better acoustics for us.
Yeah, we do need an enclosure.
Or microphones like the guys from Walmart, because they did not have any feedback at all.
Yeah, but they were all the way down. We were right next to the stage. Our place.
Wait a minute. I think the only one that really knows that the worst is me and Jacob. You were walking around or judging.
I was there, man. I was there. And you can't say I wasn't there. I got pictures.
Weren't there with the Mark Henry and the
yeah, I know you bastards.
Did I ever tell you that story, John, about that? So Jacob comes over and there's like, hey, and I looked up and it's Brian Duffy, Bry Duffy and Mark Henry. And Jacob looks at me and goes, yeah, but Carl's judging. I go, screw him. He's judging.
Yeah, man, I tell you what. Yeah, you guys are great friends. You guys are awesome. Yeah. It's Mark Henry, you know.
I'm not going to make him wait. Mark Henry does not wait.
You tell Mark Henry to wait.
No, he's a bigger deal than you.
Oh, yeah.
He can.
No question. But you give me a break here. You know what I mean? Come on. Well, anyway, I got some good pictures with him up on stage, and he's a good cat.
Oh, he and his manager, what's that cat's name? Keith? No. He lost like 100 and something pounds.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know the story?
No, I don't. It wasn't.
I forgot you weren't there.
I was not there.
I didn't do that on purpose, Amy. I swear to God, I thought he was there. But no. Sorry. Jacob and Pooch know that story.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, yeah, there were some heavy hitters over there. It was a really great time. You know who would have had a blast over there? Amy. Amy would have had a blast over
I've already invited myself next year, so
just show
you're
up.
good.
You'll be, well, we can just put you as a roadie.
You know what? They need to do a bread like competition. Another
Did they have
category. No.
Oh, I feel like they did.
They had the jam. They had the chef competition, the barbecue,
Yeah.
the bacon,
The fire.
the firewoman.
Yeah, crazy.
Those women were just
On fire.
they were badasses. They really, especially the woman that won. I can't remember. She was over at Mike Cloud's house when we got invited for that dinner. And I remember, and I told Amy the story. My tiramisu's won 4 different competitions in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties, and so on and so forth, in Martin County. I tried her tiramisu. It stopped me dead in my tracks to turn around and went, what is this? And she goes, and she starts telling me what it is. I said, this is tiramisu, like to the next level. She's like, yeah. I said, holy cow, this is incredible. So I can understand why she took first place.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
So
the
what
digits.
Phil Rizzuto over there?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It was,
Absolutely nobody's going to know what that means, but it's fine.
yeah. Well, I can't do other words that I want to say. So,
Right.
yeah, I try to keep myself clean.
Let's talk farmers.
I'd love to talk about farming.
But before we get into farming, let's talk about dishes. So,
Which dish?
what happened? No, like the dishes. Like, so what happens when you get a farmer and you have the farmer come to Ibis Images Studios where there's a lot of cooking going on? As it turns out, farmers can't sit still. Right?
Oh, those dishes.
Those dishes. Yeah. Like, first of all, thank you. You did not have to do that.
Yeah, John was upset. He was like, I go, yeah, she's doing the dishes. She doesn't need to do that. I'm like, I got hip checked.
Yeah.
Hip checked.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, thank you.
you want to talk about overachieving and, like, you know, just work ethic. This one right here.
Thank
Pointing
you.
at you,
Thank you.
Amy.
Well, remember, if you need any body work done, fiberglass rebuild, bondoing,
Mechanics,
yeah,
general mechanics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
It's YouTube University.
Yeah,
Amy Yee.
that's how I learn.
Energy. That's what it is. So, what is a day in the life? Don't make a face.
That's a loaded question.
It's so loaded. But let's talk farms. Like, what's a day in
Okay.
the life on a farm?
There's no day that's the same. Never. You get up, try to sell some stuff, hope it doesn't rain.
We need.
I mean,
you don't want the rain, huh? No, because you have your own
depends.
irrigation, right? You're like,
Yeah, but-
go away, rain.
sometimes we could use a little bit of rain.
All right. So, what's the most? All right. Let me ask it a different way. What's the biggest challenge that you find in your farm world?
Me or the farm in general? Like my
my
job on the farm. or
I
at the
presume it's
company?
hand in hand.
How about both?
Okay. So really the competition that's imported is our biggest challenge, really. Pricing, market pricing, we're still wholesale, so that's always going to be the lowest price starting, it starts with us and then people just add on prices as it gets into restaurants. And by the time, like, our box of Napa cabbage is pennies compared to when you buy a head in Publix. So just seeing that and knowing what we have to do to produce a single box of produce is
So ultimately speaking,
disheartening.
right. So what ends up happening is the stuff that's coming, that's imported,
Right.
is actually less expensive than how we can, in terms of how we're producing it here.
Right.
Right. But I think right now, or at least in the last, 5, 6, a dozen years, there has been an effort to, and it's kind of what we do here on the show as well, is highlight your local farms, buy from your local farms. I mean, have you seen a kind of come back to center on that a little bit?
I think our niche is a little bit different and hard to pinpoint where we go in terms of sales and customers. And we were really heavy in just the Asian markets. I married into the family. They've been there for 40 years in Florida. So they've had customers for 40 years. So my in-laws are in their 70s. Also, their customers are in their 70s and 80s. So for us coming in, being me, my husband, my brother-in-law, trying to find different customers and markets, and we're getting more into like the American markets and just trying to bridge that gap a little bit and finding our own customers.
You being the next generation coming up.
They've had, for forever, they never had a website until 2018 when we went to the PMA Association in Orlando, and that kind of got us a lot more customers from that. But it's just been from old school customers just getting.
It's hard to transition into the today.
Yeah.
And what they're growing is more mainstream now. And then I think also the challenge for this particular farm is packaging as well.
Yeah.
It's like, you see that huge case sitting on that counter right now. And the biggest real estate a kitchen has is the cooler space.
Right.
And you're looking at that, and that's a lot of space that it takes up. And when you're not an Asian themed restaurant, it's tough to go through that much Napa.
I mean, as you know, I spent 20 years in produce distribution, right? And there's never been, I don't know that there's ever been a time where I wasn't selling Napa cabbage and Eastern veg.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The boxes are big, it's always 40, 50 pound cases of everything.
Yeah.
And they're big, but very necessary, and there's a huge need, and the demand is there. Sales are taking place, but
it's nowhere what it used to be back in the day.
No, and we had never offered anything less than the 40 pound, 50 pound packs of stuff, and so in the last couple of years, we've just been reaching out and saying, let's offer a 10 pound pack or a 15 pound pack, and that's where it's at, really.
For food service sales?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, well, I mean, that is great because, from the distributor point of view, at the end of the day, we're the ones that end up having to piece this stuff out, and that's brutal.
Yeah.
Labor, packaging, the whole 9 yards of it. When you do try to take into consideration that a good majority of your clientele may not even have a walk-in, they might just have the, the reach in, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a great. Is that something that's already in play, or how is that being received?
Love it. People love it. What do you mean? How's it being received?
I mean, has it been successful?
Oh, yeah. People are loving that, and especially if you think about, well, Jeff, you got a box of the Shanghai that would last. If you're thinking about making a soup, how are you going to put a head of Shanghai in a soup? No, you might get one leaf, one whole, and that's just kind of.
I'll be honest with you. The way I used to use that, we used to do a tomato, watermelon kimchi with the Shanghai choy. So, and it braised. And I know a lot of times we also did like a miso glazed Shanghai on top of fish or black cod.
But you're not using a lot of it.
No, I mean, like that case, if I wasn't doing kimchi, it would be a different situation for me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
If a restaurant gets, and we still do a lot of Asian restaurants that come in markets and stuff, for them that it'll go bad before they can kind of get through it. So offering a 10 pound pack or even a 15 pound pack is what people are liking right now. And you still probably get 60 to 70 heads in there. So
I mean, they're huge.
Yeah.
It's big. So right now, are you doing retail as well?
We do. We are in a market up in like Pennsylvania, New York, and stuff.
You're not in any retail spaces in Florida?
No.
How is that possible?
I don't know. We've just
Foreign competition.
Yeah, but there's still got to. But
Well,
everybody's looking for. Go ahead. Go.
here we're seasonal. So if we sign a contract with Publix, we don't sell anyone else's produce. We grow our own, we sell our own, that's it. We don't handle anyone else. Could be a con for us. We might need to rethink that, but we have to be able to offer them stuff year round. And the thing is, when we were delayed a month from the rain a month and a half ago. So if we had a contract, we would either have to buy someone else's stuff and get it to that store. So we're still I wouldn't say a small family farm. We're a small family that operates a large farm, but no, we're not doing retail. We're just not.
Where does the company want to be? Where does the farm want to be right now?
Everywhere. We want to be in the stores. I mean, we go into the stores and we see other people's product and we know that we can do it better and produce it better and safer. And so
if you were taking product that's coming from overseas and it's going to go in a container, it's quite a distance and time, and then it sits at the port, and by the time it gets in, it's quite a bit of time. Obviously, you're getting it straight from the ground. Here, would go on a truck and go to a distribution center and be delivered to somebody's kitchen. Mm-hmm. I even with the savings that you're getting from the the level of quality and freshness that you're getting from here versus there, there really needs to be, coming to Jesus, so to speak, moment in the food industry on this.
I've been a huge proponent of that because you have to change your menu. You cannot stay stagnant.
But listen, here's the thing: like if you're talking strictly hearts and minds, right? Average Joe, shopper, Jane shopper, whatever. They go to the store and they say, "Man, I'm getting a lot less for the same dollar," right? You have, a family local, USA farm, right? Who's doing the right work, trying to get enough to be profitable. And they're up against this juggernaut of price, right? That's from overseas. It's hard to overcome that because the person who's spending the money at the store is saying, I got to go with the cheapie.
Well, the unfortunate thing too is the market price and the retail side. That's what sets the stage for the combat with the farmer. Mm-hmm. It's not the farmer that sets the pricing when they want to sell to a supermarket. It's the supermarket that dictates the price.
Correct.
And let's be honest. And that's one of the main problems. I think the other thing that we need to look at as far as the wholesale aspect of the chefs, what we can do is it's funny story. When I was looking to do shoots last week with John, or a couple of weeks ago with John, I was at Sprouts and I saw, blood orange. And we were doing the Halloween thing. That's what Brian wanted to bring it up. I was like, this is purple, or the blood orange. This is going to be great. And I looked and it's vampire, Dracula, blood oranges. I'm like, they're back in season. And I looked, Australia. No offense to John McFadden, but I put that orange down and said, it's not traveling that far to that plate. That's the change. If chefs make that change and don't look at the price. And when I used to be sales support for that broadliner, when I would see somebody and be like, hey, it's $10, whatever the price is. Well, what's the price? I don't do pricing. When they heard the price, well, that's $10 a case more. Well, if you break it down and stop being mathematically just on case and break it down to the ounce size, I guarantee you it's not more than 10 cents. If you can't afford 10 cents difference for better quality food, then close your doors. It's as simple as that. That's my pro tip for the day.
Say it again.
There's no other thing to say. If you can't afford 10 cents difference in the bottom line of your plate, shut your doors. You're an absolute idiot to think it $20 or $10, whatever it is, the difference.
And no offense to the idiots out there. You know what I mean? I mean that in jest. I say that in jest, but yeah, at the end of the day, we do need to look at how we're buying our stuff needs to change.
Yeah.
Well, it's not only that. We have to get back, and this is to point out the power that the consumers and the chefs have. If we simply stop saying, I want a peach all year round. Think about, number one, how excited you are when you see Georgia peaches coming into season, or you see, watermelon, honeydew, cantaloupe. We're not getting it from, no offense to the other countries, Chile, but when we open these doors to other countries to bring their stuff in that could be competing with local farmers, we're doing an injustice not only to ourselves, we're doing an injustice to our farmers and our community wholeheartedly. Yeah. And it needs to stop.
Yeah. I don't disagree with any of that. I guess we're done here.
But I don't think a lot of people, like, what is the biggest challenge for you besides the competition? Mm-hmm. Like, Carl mentioned rain. You mentioned rain. What is the biggest challenge out there for a farmer?
I mean, how's staffing?
Terrible. The people we have are great, but we need more people. Like,
still a big challenge. Mm-hmm. And are you
S1, H2, right? S2, H2.
So we are just now getting into the H2A. We should have some in January, and we don't really know if it's going to work or if we can afford it. Honestly, at this point, it's over $20 an hour. And when we're getting $10, $15, $20 a case, that's not great for us, or less if they, if we get a complaint that comes back, or somebody says, well, we're getting it from this place for this much, so we kind of have to satisfy them. It's hard.
I mean, we're all struggling. I think every sector is struggling with the same challenge.
Yeah.
Voting matters, people.
Yeah,
like
it
really does. And I don't want to get into that specific topic. I don't want to dive deep in that, but people, we all really need to take a look at, who really is for us here. It's great. I'm you have this whole global community. That's awesome. But it doesn't
send your stuff that we don't have here.
Yeah.
Don't send us the stuff we grow here.
Mm-hmm. Correct. 100%.
Send us those banana varieties that can last that trip, right, or whatever, or those blood orange from Australia.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there was a balance there because there's nothing wrong. So I agree with that, if that there should be seasonality.
Yeah.
And I do miss oh man, summer's coming. We're going to get watermelon. I miss that because I can get it all the time. But guess what? It's not as good. It can't be as good because it's coming from 2,000 miles away. It's just not going to be good.
So back and forth on that. I get it and respect what you say. And then it's when I'm at the store thinking about what's on my grocery list and what do I see in front of my face. I try to just get obviously local stuff, but I have a kid who's not picky, so that's great. But if you have kids that are, only eat specific things, and then it's they have to have their blueberries in their bag every day. And it's so hard because you go in there, you get the pre-cut stuff, you get the packaged stuff.
We're doing it all wrong anyway, because the children should be eating what is seasonal and what's available and what we as the parents prepare for them.
Right.
Not everything that comes from a cardboard box that came from a factory that's, full of all sorts of just unhealthiness.
Food Inc. You got to watch the movie. Got to watch the movie.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Your eyes will be open. It's not a conspiracy theory, but my goodness. And I'll say one thing about buying from foreign countries, especially with produce. That's a national security issue to me. Because if we keep on buying from afar, the farmers can't afford their land. Mm-hmm. They got a business. We have nowhere to get our food. Then we're relying upon other nations.
True story.
Think about that one.
Yeah.
That is the absolute truth.
So I think the biggest thing for me is
But if you actually if you compare that,
I thought he was about to play the piano.
I was about to play the piano.
Go ahead.
Right. If you compare what you just said, and in conjunction with how the government is buying land, and how some certain players out there who are they've got the financial wherewithal to also buy
the land,
large swaths of land across growing farmland, fertile land across the country. I mean, who does anybody trust any of this?
Well, look at Westlake in West Palm Beach. 20 years ago, that was orange fields, orange orchards. That's all it was. And then the environmentalists moved in. They shut it down for 20 years, and now 4,500 homes are going in.
Yeah,
we farm right behind there. We farm behind Westlake.
Yeah, see that? I mean, where I grew up in Cooper City, it was nothing but orange groves and dairy farms, cattle ranch.
Oh, do you know Justin? Then he does the chickens out there.
What's his last name?
I'll remember.
Justin, the chicken guy.
The chicken guy.
Trust me, that's Kelly knows him as Justin, the chicken guy. He does the eggs at Swank.
Duh.
No,
He's one of the guys that does them. Yeah.
Swank Farms, yeah.
I'll say
Love
something.
Swank.
This is a treat for me. Even doing the dishes
That was a treat for us.
By the way, John didn't say anything, but he did in the studio. He said she can come back whenever she wants if she's going to clean the dishes.
Okay. He did not.
Silent on strikes again.
He feels bad I did the dishes. Don't feel bad.
Oh yeah, he definitely does.
He really does.
He really.
He
I
won't
do. I
say
feel
anything.
bad.
He won't. He doesn't talk. You saw that. Like,
Why is this such a treat, though?
Carl just sat across the counter and just watched me.
And ate.
That's what I do at home. I mean, that's what I do. Anyway, but it's funny because
Wait, hold on. I was saying
okay.
this is a treat for me because we are nonstop August through May, sometimes into June. So you're asking what our struggles are. It's daily. It's a daily struggle. Everything is different. Stuff breaks down. Stuff needs to be fixed. Stuff doesn't grow properly. All the things. So
Or fertilizing issues.
yeah. So this is very more hard for me to be here. It's not hard for me to be here, but it's hard for me to take the time
to be away
and to really think about what our struggles are because we're in it. We're just in doing it, and that's it. So
sometimes
I don't know what's going on outside of our farm and what.
Well,
is
so
happening.
Sometimes it's good to get out and get some fresh eyes,
right?
Especially if you're going to a different part of the state or country or whatever. It gives you different perspective, and it's healthy.
Yeah.
Like you should, I don't know how often, your hubby gets to go out, but everybody should take some time.
Yeah.
Not to really take not to take a vacation per se, like, that's good too, but like to get out and just go walk around city centers.
Yeah.
Or other areas where they farm and, just to see different ways or perspectives or the vibe that that particular area is giving off, because maybe
they're so ingrained in their own ecosystem. I mean, look at Marvin. You talk to him. He's like, I was up at 2:00 in the morning. I was breaking this thing down. And then you talk to Amy and when we were talking about the food for you to bring up, you were like, yeah, I don't know if that's going to be good for the other event we did back in Sally Mars. She was like, we're going to have some rain. I don't know if it's going to look that good. I don't, so there's always this every day, even in the kitchens, we never know who's not going to show up, who's going to show up. It's the same thing, but it's just different for what the farmer has to go through.
Yeah. And I think why I've been drawn to you guys is
bread. He loves bread.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, you've been drawn to me for the bread.
You drew us to you. Like that's what you did this.
You just held the bread like he was like a moth. That was the light.
I just held the loaf up.
You lured me in.
No, but just to hear food from a different aspect. I've known nothing about the restaurant industry, and it's really neat to just hear you guys talk about food and from a chef perspective and from an eating perspective and from just all around. And your biggest...
You saw who she looked at right there, right?
She was staring at me the whole time.
Yeah.
The eating one was definitely towards you.
Yeah.
I wanted, and so is John right now.
Right.
He's just looking at you.
I know. Envy me.
Yeah.
Envy me.
You got 7 pounds to gain.
I do. I already probably today. So, but you know, your clients, your customers,
Yeah.
and not the end user, like who's dining at the establishment, but like the establishments, that's your customer,
I know.
right? You guys have to understand the metric of food service, the food industry at large. You know, if you don't understand who your client is,
Right.
how are you going to maneuver and pivot properly to get them what they need?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, now they do family boxes too, so someone can experience a good array of different items that the family farms do. I mean, they have the daikon.
Yeah.
They had the Chinese broccoli.
Are you guys doing any, like, do you
do you
ever
do bok choy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do 3 different types of bok choy.
I'm going to give a big duh.
No, I just, because I can't remember, because Kelly and I, when we got the first box from Yi Family, Kelly was the one that introduced me to Amy. That's 2019.
No, it was after COVID. So
Oh, it was after, right?
21
Because it was
maybe.
2020. We bought the box, and for some reason I got a lot more daikon because Kelly doesn't like daikon. So I forgot what was in the box.
Okay.
So that's why I couldn't remember.
Good story. Good tip. Listen, what I'm trying to get at here is you have your clients. You need to know how they're operating in order so that you can make the pivot. You can make the change,
Yeah.
right? What I was going to ask you is, do you guys do shows? Do you ever go to like other farmers markets? Like, do you get out there? Do you do any of that?
We don't. We don't.
All right. So we got to figure out how.
We did PMA in 2018, and that was
And the PMA is great.
the best thing. Yeah.
It's expensive, but you got to do it. I mean, it's
Well,
money
it was
well
worth
spent
it for us.
Money well spent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you meet from your perspective, you'll meet so many buyers.
Mm-hmm.
You know that are looking for what you do.
Yeah.
Don't we know somebody that does a podcast about produce?
I know a guy.
And he usually goes like to the farm and
Yeah.
meets the farmer, and like
Yeah,
he's got some good following. He's been growing on.
Are you talking about the Patrick Kelly from the Produce Industry Podcast?
Oh my
Are you
God,
talking
that
about
dude!
that guy?
Yeah, that
okay.
dude,
Yeah, he was gonna come today.
Handlebar, the
Dirk.
mustache.
I call him Dirk. now.
Dirk.
Yeah. That's really, anyway, so he was
He's going to come tonight. Why didn't he come? Oh, because we were having meat.
He's so sissified, right? No, he. I went and saw him yesterday, day before, whatever. I saw him this week.
One day I was blowing your phone up.
Yeah, whatever that. Anyway, so I went to go see him. He wanted me to help him with a little commercial thing, like for John Papp, which he's part of Patrick's circle. They do the History of Produce podcast, and we were doing a little spot for him, so it was kind of cool. And I knew we weren't going to have a lot of time today to sit down. There's too much action. So,
gotcha.
but he was gonna poke his head in the door. He wouldn't have eaten anything, you know.
Oh, I know he wouldn't have.
Maybe the peanut brittle. I don't know. He would have had something. No, maybe not.
No,
John.
no, that's for John.
Okay.
and Cindy.
John's signing.
Look
sign
at the
language
plate
and
next to
shaking
you over there on their right hand side, right there.
Yeah, it's empty. Crumbs. Yeah, crumb. All right. So so walk and talk, right? I mean, this is kind of where we live. I mean, we got to be able to figure something out.
Right. To help to, gain the spotlight on the family farms.
Yeah. But even to do we have to do events, man. Like, listen,
Well,
we've been
we didn't talk about the next event. We talked about the 16th.
Hold on. Stop right there. There's a blessing that's happening to this operation of ours, right? I mean, the whole, hey, number one on Apple thing, and, we're climbing the arts chart as well. Like, I think we topped at number 8 in the arts category, which is phenomenal because who's like in the top of the arts category?
Sir
Paul McCartney. Like people like that. Like it's stupid. This whole thing that's happening is ridiculous. So here we are. We're doing good work, and we were just talking about it before when Jeff was cooking and John was shooting. I was talking to Amy. I was like, with Amy. Like we're seeing success, and I think the success is coming from the fact that we're doing. It's not just that we're get behind the mic and talk, and hopefully somebody listens, whatever. You're cooking, awesome stuff. John's capturing that awesome stuff in an awesome way. It's like super simple stuff. And then we come here and get on the podcast, talk about it. And then we'll have a cool guest and we'll have a good topic and we'll hit a nerve. And all of a sudden it kind of, it gels together. And here we are. Right. And I feel like we need to continue pushing that quality bar, you know, for in our little genre here, in our little niche, keep pushing that quality bar. But I think in order, part of that push is to get out and do. I think the do is the secret sauce or that ingredient.
That's sauce.
That's, he just texted me, by the way, Scott Green. I just got a text from him.
And it's funny because we're not live, so he doesn't hear it.
Right.
So
He's not hearing this. Right. But he did. Scott just and our foodie patootie pooch. What's going on here anyway?
So as you're looking at that real quick, so what Carl is talking about and what we're going to go do is on the January 13th, we're actually going to be doing the Farmer's Craveable Dinner. It's a 9-course tasting meal.
They want us to go to Dubai.
If they're paying.
I mean, that's part
He's
of
shaking his head no.
Yeah, I mean.
So I got the board again.
Get Dubai.
But we're going to be doing in January 13th. We're going to be over at Cahaba Club with Marvin. And
what date?
January 13th. It's a Saturday.
Yes.
It's going to be the first one we're going to do. We're going to be showcasing Yee Family Farms, Happy Tales Farms, Mount Dora. There's a produce farm out there we'll be doing. I got to secure that. We're going to have some bartenders. We're going to have libations, and it's going to be a good old time. We're going to have about 80 spots that we're going to fill. We'll have 16 VIP spots, and those VIPs are going to be getting some of the actual product from the farmers, like the butter, the cream, and the goat cheese that's going to be coming from Happy Tales. They'll get some produce from Yee Family Farms. They'll get a bottle of wine that we're going to be choosing for that night. And they'll get some of the recipes as well.
You get a recipe, and you get a recipe, and you got to get some Oprah Winfrey in there.
Yeah. And eventually what we'll do,
Oprah.
Eventually what we can do is with John being there and actually shooting some of this photography, we'll be able to get some really good photos. And then when we develop the Craveable book, which is the cookbook we're going to be working on with all the different chefs that we're going to have and bring in, this is going to be the basis of that. And then we can actually help not only the farmers being showcased, but the mental health aspect of it with sharing our stories and chefs helping chefs in that charity.
I love it. I think we're heading in the right direction. And listen, we're kind of new with Amy and Yee Farms, correct? Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, we didn't know each other really beforehand or whatever. And through, all of this, what we're doing, it kind of... So we're out there, we're meeting people, and I'm glad we did. Like, you're awesome, and what you guys are doing on the farm is awesome. And wherever we can kind of like be there to assist in any way to elevate what you're doing. Yeah, we're here for it.
Thank you.
And we want to be we want to be that for the farming community, but also for the food service.
Well, she has a story about the food service, like you were just mentioning. You went out to a Dollar Tree or something.
Why does she look surprised?
I know what. I'm like, what are you
You went out to a store and saw a product that you heard about on a podcast.
Oh, I did.
Right. And what was that about, young lady?
Okay. So I was listening loyally, per usual. And was listening to the market pantry. Modern. What is it?
I think modern pantry boxed milk.
Shelf stable milk. And
diversified foods.
Immediately, I was like, I need this. I need this in my pantry. I have to have it because when I bake, I don't always have milk and I always want milk. And it was perfect. So I found it. I bought a couple jugs of it and I've been using it and it's been perfect. And I wouldn't have known had you guys not talked to the people from Diversified Foods and...
Well,
it was
so as it turns,
it was perfect.
They actually came to us.
Diversified Foods. We need to talk. So, but here's the thing: the World Food Championship.
They sponsor like all the cream and the milk, right?
Yeah. Like we met them there, and of course, this all started. This is how it works. So I think
people thought we were famous.
Well, we're kind of a.
Because they were like,
Aren't you?
No.
I mean, a little bit. but not really.
Carl was recognized. People recognized him.
No, they recognize the sandwiches. Really, is what it boils down to. Not me. It's the they see me. They see sandwich. You know what I mean? It's kind of. But no. So what it started with Citrus America, and they're a vendor partner with us. And they, by the way, terrific juicing equipment, like the Mercedes-Benz of juicing equipment. Anyway, with that said,
takes a licking and keeps on working.
Yeah, I mean,
it takes a bit.
All right, stop it. You're getting me off track. Give me some Ritalin or something. Would you? I need it. Anyway, so look. So what ends up happening is they invite us to a show last year, the NAFM show, and that's a basically it's like a restaurant industry equipment big show. The thousands of people go.
Big.
It's huge.
Huge show.
It's like the PMA. It's closest to the size of the PMA. Anyway, we go. We set up the podcast at their booth, and we were just doing random podcasts. So yeah, just I don't want stop it. Stop sidetracking me, dude. Anyway, so listen. What ends up happening is we meet at the very end of the night. The suit guy, the pink suit guy.
Mark
dying over here so much.
Mark
Conway, a dear friend now. I'm literally dying. Forgive me. Here, listen to me drink.
No, we also met the guy from Heston Blumenthal's research development.
No,
chef.
we met a lot of. Stop it. We met a lot of people. Mark Conway shows up at the end. It's him and a couple of his,
entourage. Silent John spoke.
He speaks. Is that what your voice sounds like? So with his entourage, and we start to talk, and he's the coolest guy on the planet, And from that day, and obviously he MCs and hosts the World Food Championship. He does a lot of stuff. He's out there. He's like the Ryan Seacrest of the food world. Anyway, we start talking over the last year, and he calls up one day. He says, "Hey, what do you guys think about coming out and doing the podcast over at the WFC, and you can be we'll have you be a master judge." I was like, I get to eat, right? He goes, yeah. He's like, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like that's a yes, right? Check the box. But it was through Citrus America and us going out and doing, right? Going to the show, getting out into the trade. You meet Mark Conway. Mark Conway says, "Hey, you guys are cool. Let's all be cool together." He says, "Hey, come on out." All of a sudden, we're with Mike McLeod and Scott Green and Metro and Diversify, all these different cats. And now you have a shelf stable, dairy product that you didn't have before. But do you see that, like the ripple trickle down effect?
Yeah,
I like what you did there. Ripple trickle.
Yeah, I mean, I coined
butterfly effect.
Yeah, that too, right? So. But this is how great is that?
Here
and this is the cool thing. Are you?
I'm mocking you.
You are. Get out. No, God. You know what? Jeff, you're out. Amy, you're in. All right. That's it.
She does the dishes.
I mean,
I can cook, but it's nothing like that. So sorry.
I don't know. That's a pretty good trade-off there. I mean, he leaves us.
I have left this place. Yeah.
I mean,
like a bomb blew off.
Like a giant grease bomb.
Well, when you have a 10-year-old and you got to get there, and you're about 35, 45 minutes away.
Dude, you don't have to tell me. I get it.
Okay.
I get it. But I'm still going to rib you.
I know.
All right. Boba Fett. All right.
That's right. He's in the house tonight.
It's a cool shirt, man. So Jeff's rocking this green Boba Fett t-shirt. I mean, hey, Star Wars, right?
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, these aren't the droids you're looking for. Move along.
You remember the joke from what Jillian said, Bacon Biss's joke?
No, you're going to have to remind me. Damn it.
If I say the joke, you're going to have to do the last name then. What's Yoda's last name?
Yoda Leahu.
There we go.
Okay.
That was my joke for my daughter.
My God. Yeah. Now, how did I forget that? I don't know.
You're the king of dad jokes.
It's true. I am. And my kids, as they get older, they're going to hate me for this, but they're going to have to deal with it.
There's 3 people on the other side of the table that hate you for it too.
Wow. Really?
I do not.
Amy, is that right?
No.
But she's brand new. She's not heard it for the behind the scenes yet. See, he said yet.
That's wow. 2 times he said something.
Really? Yeah. And you see, like, every time he says something, it's about me in some negative way. Like, it's, wow. This really hurts, guys.
Doesn't it? People in glass houses shouldn't throw pebbles.
Stones.
Oh,
No,
in
no
his case, pebbles.
In your case, fruity pebbles. But that's another story. All right. I mean, okay. I guess well, I'll just pack it up and guess we're done here again, right? All right, Amy.
Yeah.
How do we find you?
Okay. So Instagram at ye_farms, Facebook, yefarms, yefarms.com, maybe however. That's it.
They can find you now on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn.
All right, you're coming into the new century.
Yeah.
I love it.
And also the Sourdough Geeks, right?
By the way,
that's a group.
Before I forget, I'm gonna seed something that's coming up here, and I'm just gonna say, Bo Jackson. That's all I'm saying. Okay, coming up sometime really soon. I'll say it one more time. Bo Jackson. Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that. That's gonna be bad ass. I'm so stoked for what's going to occur. All right, silent John boy over there. I love you, baby. You're good to go. Amy, thank you for coming out today. We
Thanks for
appreciate
having me.
everything you've done and do, and you bring and you feed us, and it's amazing. Jeff, whatever. I'll see you another time. Love you, man. We are out.